And today I want to talk to you about neural reprogramming. It might sound really complicated, but actually, when you tap in and you press these certain magic buttons that your body has within, you can have profound effects with very simple techniques. All of this is surrounded under the topic of energy medicine. And energy medicine can mean a whole lot of things. And so with energy medicine, you may have things that you've done that are actually energy medicine. You might think, oh, this is crazy. I don't even know what she's talking about. But a lot of things are energy medicine. It's an umbrella term. And so energy medicine, if you know about acupuncture, if you've ever done yoga, if you've ever meditated, if you've ever actually seen an energy medicine practitioner or a Reiki practitioner, among many other things, shamanism, so many things fall under the term energy medicine. The way our body responds to different therapeutic options out there and why they can be so beneficial or maybe not beneficial is really about passive energetic alignment versus active energetic alignment. Sometimes we implement a modality and it really worked, and it worked amazing. And that certain aspect of our energy systems, our physical body, our cognitive body, and our support systems all kind of aligned in this beautiful way, and we were able to overcome whatever it was we were hoping to, or maybe, if you're like some of us, a series of things that we need to overcome, not just one thing. Sometimes, however, our bodies need more, and that active alignment, or that passive alignment rather, isn't really the path that's helpful for our energies. We need something more active. We need to actually press certain buttons on our body that are associated with certain energy systems. And when those systems talk and work together, we can function at a more optimal level. So one of those most important systems involves one of the most important parts of our body, and that's our brain. Our brain controls everything. And in order to reprogram your brain, or just program your brain from the start, is optimal. So the earlier you introduce energy medicine techniques to children's lives, the better. For information on that, visit to Tanya Dolan's Energy Medicine for Kids information. And the real thing about it, though, is that you don't have to only know this when you're a child. You can learn this when you're 80 and have profound, amazing results. So regardless of where you are on life spectrum, regardless where you are in your knowledge about the body's energy or the energy systems, here is a fantastic way for you to just start and think about ways that you can reprogram your mind and your body to work for you with your best and highest good. So one of the most fantastic energy exercises that I've learned in all of my training is called what Donna Eden calls the Wayne Cook. And so for Donna Eden, what she will say, Eden Energy Medicine and the Eden program, according to Donna Eden, the Wayne Cook is so important when you just feel scrambled. You just feel so tired and you don't know what to do, and everything's just frazzled and not going right, and you just can't think, and you don't know the answer, and you want to lash out, and it's just not okay. What do? You do a Wayne Cook, and you figure out how to solve that. So a standing version of the Wayne Cook, in order to talk to your energies and help them align, is the following. And so what Donna says you can do is you can either just stand. Sometimes I actually like to cross my ankles. But you can stand here if that just does not feel stable for your practice. And then you want to cross your arms. So the best way is to clap them, flip them, cross one over the other, whichever feels right for you, and bring them in. And now you want to go ahead and you want to take a couple really nice big breaths. And so what you're helping your body do in this situation is start that crossing pattern and that understanding of your crossing energies. The next thing you want to do is you want to unwind everything, and you want to bring all of your fingertips together at your sixth chakra, or your third eye. This is one of those magic buttons I mentioned earlier. When you place your thumbs here, you are opening such an incredible portal to your body's ability to access the deepest layers of your intuition. This is what we're missing when we're in that frazzled state. Another thing that's happening as you do this, and we'll complete this exercise a few more ways so that you really get this understanding in all of it. So bear with me as I go through it and take a quick pause. But the reason why you're doing this, and I want to mention this, is because so many people feel so silly with their hands up here. Like, what am I doing? Oh my God, this is so dumb, right? But here's what's happening. This magic button on your body, you're connecting meridians, magic pathways and highways of energy that flow through your body through your fingertips. You're connecting and aligning that up with your sixth chakra. That is helping you access very deep layers of your brain and really important regions of your brain that help you release that fight or flight response, that what do I do, that lash out response, and help you lift what I call an energetic guillotine. What's an energetic guillotine? Well, what happens is you may have that moment, a plate slammed behind you, or you rear-ended someone. Your body instantly goes safe or threat. And if it's a threat, you get the signal, what some people call saber-tooth tiger, right? That fight or flight response, that inherent, embedded, deep fight, flight, freeze response. And in that moment, your brain does this beautiful thing where it sends that fight or flight message up here. And up here, what we call your executive centers in your frontal lobe. Up here, your brain can think and decide, oh, that's not a saber-toothed tiger, right? And it's not really saying saber-toothed tiger, but it's saying, oh, wow, that's actually not a threat. I am okay. That was a plate crashing. That was something just fell off, a shelf, and we're fine. Or is it a threat and I need to act? So here's the deal. If it's really not a threat and your executive centers assess that situation and they send that information back to you, did back here receive what it needed to receive? If you have what I call an energetic guillotine, boom, it'll slam down either near that motor or sensory cortex behind your frontal lobe, and it becomes almost a one-way filter. So those other messages are not properly received, and those fight or flight centers, although you may consciously think you're calming down, feeling better, unconsciously throughout your body, your adrenals, your fight or flight, and perhaps you're creating a domino effect of many other systems within your body, might still be screaming saber-tooth tiger. So this part is so key, because this is where you hit that magic button and you're helping lift that guillotine. And once that guillotine's lifted, you can now truly program what you want to send through. You can envision and imagine this in any way. This is where things, as we mentioned, passive energetic alignment, meditation. Maybe you get a kind of a shamanic meditation vibe going through for you. Maybe you get an actual visual. Maybe you get connectivity, or maybe you visualize. Just Google or go to my website or follow me on Facebook, and I posted this really rad video of neurons connecting. Maybe you visualize that, but visualize the neurons you want connecting. That's the key. The positivity, the gratitude, the dreams and the successes and those moments, and focus on that and vibe on that, and that is how you rewire. But rewiring requires 2 steps, and this is the key miss for so many of us. Before we start to rewire, we have to let what no longer serves us go somewhere. We have to open something. We have to get rid of what doesn't serve us so we can fill up with what does. Best way to do that is before you do any exercise, okay? Whether it's a walk, whether it's your favorite bar studio workout, whether it's yoga, and in fact, you could even look up Lauren Walker's energy medicine yoga. She does so many cool things that are a little parallel to what we're going to talk about with the opening and really applying some yoga principles to the energy work. And so there's just so much overlapping out there and options out there for you. But now, opening space and giving your energy space to flow. If you have time, adding within, opening down on the feet. Donna calls this, and in acupuncturists and traditional Chinese manuals, opening the gates and allowing those points, especially so many points in our wrists and our hands and our feet that are so powerful, allowing them to get some activation and open and allow space for things to move. So now that we're allowing the icky to clear, we can also bring in the good. So as I mentioned, Donna Eden has the standing version where she brings you together, and you can do that in her daily energy routine. You can just look up Donna Eden Wayne Cook daily energy standing version. But she also originally, the older version is a seated version. So I'm going to walk you through the seated version, and then as well as one on the ground that takes it into an even deeper level, so that you can see how when you apply the added movement to this, you can create the space to allow the old to go and the new to fill in. Oh, first we need a hug from Brody. Hello, Minji Dingle. Yes, it's so nice to see you. Can we finish our video now? Yeah. Oh, thank you. Yeah. We're going to finish the video. Okay. Thank you. Yes. Hold it down. So the first thing you want to do is the Wayne Cook is so incredible because you get the crossing pattern. So our body is meant to cross. Our left brain controls our right body. Our right brain controls our left body. And some people call that contralateral movement, crossing the midline. Depending on the source you find, you're going to hear it called a ton of different things. And so that crossing is super important. Our vision is set up to cross. We're just stronger when we're crossed and our energies want to cross. But that X factor, right? That strengthening factor is only part of it. As I mentioned before, we also have a secondary, really important programming piece for our brain, and that's to make sure that not only are left and right brain communicating with each other properly, but making sure that our frontal lobe is sending those messages back in such a way that it truly is in charge. They're being received. We can lift that guillotine, and we can allow those messages to be received within the emotional centers of our brain, and we can create those neural connectivities, and we can reprogram. And then while doing that, we can also create space. Space, especially in our hips, is so important because whether you're male, female, trans-identified, humanoid of some sort, with anything going on with your anatomy, any combination of factors happening, we have an endless amount of energy flowing through our area, our pelvic area, our hips, and it's imperative to allow space, to allow things to clear and open. And so another analogy that you can think about of why it's so important to allow that to clear is that if your energy can't flow through your equator, right, how are your northern and southern hemispheres supposed to operate together? And you become very discombobulated. So again, it goes back to that explanation Donna Eden gives with her Wayne Cook. So what you want to understand is that while you're doing these activities, especially in a seated fashion, if you can take the time to really lengthen this out and make it part of a stretching practice or a daily practice or a yoga practice, you can really allow some hip opening things. Brody needs some hip openers. You can get some hip opening activity in there, and you can have some other even passive alignment opportunities for your energy to create space and move. And so it doesn't matter, you can start with whatever leg you'd like. What does matter is that whatever leg you're bringing up, and I like to kind of inhale on my way up, and we did our preliminaries, we've opened we've opened the gates, opened the faucets, we're allowing space for things to move. And so you want to take and make sure that your hands are crossing. So I have my left leg on my right knee, and therefore my left arm is crossing over my right arm. Now, I like to really intentionally place my hand around onto this pinky toe. This pinky toe is pretty amazing acupressure point in traditional Chinese medicine. Bladder 66 is one where, you know, we can just, when that is open, we can train our body, just like our bladder is designed to release what no longer serves our body without we've processed throughout eating and drinking. Our bladder meridian can help energetically process things that we no longer need energetically. So I like to intentionally take that hand and I like to wrap it around that pinky toe on that bladder 66 meridian. Now, another thing about stretching you want to keep in mind is that this stretch is meant to be a hip opener, hip concentrated, not hurt your knee day. Hip stretch, knee safe. So in order to do that, and this also is really important because it coincides with your bladder meridian, I call it engaging your foot muscles, and I like to flare my pinky toe out. And by flaring my pinky toe out as wide as I can, I get a nice engagement up the outer edge of my leg. And with that flare, it almost initially pulls my hip down, my knee down further, and I can feel the stretch in my hip with zero issues within that knee joint. So you want to work at your body's ability within this. You may be working very high up. You may find that you can push it down and get that nice opener. So as you find the position that fits your body's best position and comfort, where you get a nice stretch. So you may get a stretch here. This may not work for you at all, and you standing or even applying the standing one lying down somewhere comfortable may work for you, or even just simply crossing at the ankles. That's the beauty of energy medicine. It works for every body, and regardless of your ability. Okay, so let's begin. Ready? Magic is open. Inhaling up, same hand on the same foot, and we're going to inhale through our nose and exhale through our mouth. And on the exhale, allowing that hip to open further. Beautiful. And 3 to 5 breaths. If you feel like you need more, do what feels right for you. Inhale up the other side. Beautiful. And I want you to take note that I'm not hunched over. My chest is open, my shoulders are back. I have what some would call a neutral spine, where you're creating that beautiful long space within your spine so that your cerebral spinal fluid has the space it needs to provide that oxygen to all the areas of your brain that you're interested in moving into reprogramming. So moving into that second part, and we've talked about the importance of all of your fingers up overhead into your third eye. In and out, as you did before, visualizing what works for you to create what it is you want to reprogram within your space. Beautiful. And as you're ready, bring your fingertips together at the center of your forehead with the pressure that's right for you, and push in and pull off anything else that no longer serves you. And when you get to your temples or your hairline, shake it off. That is the seated version. We were able to open our hips in an exceptional way there. However, if you feel I need more. I want a deeper hip opening. I want something that I can add to my practice and really open that up. I offer you an opportunity to work even lower on the ground and take it to a little bit more of a yoga pose. Don't mind the squeaky toys. So same thing. You want to make sure that your energies are open. They have their space to flow, which we've done if you've been with us through the whole video. And now you want to also make sure that your body is ready to start crossing and reprogramming. So the first thing you want to do when you're applying Lane Cook to the floor is same thing. You want to inhale. Hello, puppy. And of course, if you have a dog or an animal that can give you love while you do this, although this one you have to keep that in the other way. It's pretty dangerous. No, thank you. I don't want that pointed at me right now. It's really not necessary to point that. No, you're so sweet. Hold it down. Get your baby. Get your avocado. Hold it down. Get that out of here. That's a weapon over there. You want to watch out. Okay, can you put it down? What are you gonna do? We can't help these people stretch when you're chewing on your giraffe in my face. Can you go lay down? Thank you. So as we talked about before, we have, go birdie. As we talked about before, we have your same arm wrapped around the same leg that's bent. And you want to do 3 to 5 breaths. And as I inhale, when I take it deeper, same thing, engaging and protecting the knee and truly opening the hips. What you may want to do is actually bring in the other leg underneath and wrap it up like a log of fire. So we're going to inhale in, exhale out, inhale in, and that's when I kind of like to bring it in if I have a little more stretch to give. Exhale down, and a few more inhales. Get nice and in there. Get your sit bones nice and firmly grounded. Again, keeping your neutral spine. Beautiful. And if you'd like, on your final exhale, go ahead and forward fold. If your pet allows. Who needs goat yoga when you have Brody energy medicine yoga? Yes. Okay, thank you, puppy. And of course, the body loves energy, symmetry. It loves energy too. Perfect Freudian slip. It loves symmetry. So we need to do the other side. Okay. Yes, Mama's on the floor, huh? You love to play when Mama's on the floor. And so same thing, we're gonna breathe in and out, and in and out. And if you wanna bring one up and in and under. Allow all that space to be created for your cerebral spinal fluid, everything crossing and out. And now it's up to you. If you'd like to remain crossed, that's wonderful. Or if you'd like to bring your hands up and lengthen out the legs, that's fine too, whichever works for you. This is the neural reprogramming. This is where you visualize what you would like to shift. And release what you no longer need. So different things that you can add to all of that involves in the envisioning and that intentionality of the lengthening and the strengthening of your muscles and your ligaments, that you're able to open, that you're able to create whatever space you need within there so that energy can flow and that your body's energies are able to connect. And also that your frontal lobe is truly in charge and you're not being driven by your fight or flight system. I hope you found this helpful, and if you have any questions, my name is Dr. Mellor, and I'm with Healing Wax. I'll see you soon. Thank you.